Yo, 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 what is up, you guys? It is your boy, HamzaConnection, coming at you live. Welcome to the Journey Podcast. Today, I want to talk about an experience of mine that I had with my first mentor. Well, with my first mentor, what he had me do for the first time was to implement something new in my life. It was to write daily reports to him. So for instance, I would write down my goals for today and my goals for tomorrow, and then I would write the biggest challenges. I think it was the biggest challenges, and then I would write like a self assessment. So my biggest challenge going throughout the day, and then a self assessment, and any questions that I would have for him. Like what sort of question would I have for him? And I basically did that for 90 days. And I will have to say, he also made me do like a video explaining things because he said I wanted he needed me to develop that confidence, that social skills that you can talk into a camera. And he actually helped me sort of get that down. So I started making not yeah actually YouTube videos, but those are private and unlisted. I'm keeping those so I can look back at them way back and then see what I did. But basically, he would have me make YouTube videos and explain to him what I learned. So he would give me a ton of courses, and obviously I would be paying him a lot. But he would then give me the courses, and then I would be able and it was a lot for me back then. So it's not like now. It's a decent amount. It's still a fairly decent amount. It's not a lot compared to the other things, but it was a lot back then. Like I really used almost like all my money because I was excited and I wanted to learn a lot. But basically, this happened after I started shooting YouTube videos. I basically he gave me feedback and told me, okay, don't do this, don't do that, and I improved. It was good, but also just I noticed myself in that 90-day period that I was working harder, and also when I felt like I wanted to procrastinate, I didn't do it because I knew I would be honest in my daily report and I would write that I didn't achieve this and this goal. And why didn't I achieve it? I would have to write it down. And he was somebody I wanted to impress. So I wanted to do really amazing. I wanted to do really good and achieve a lot so that I could write it down on my daily report and prove to him that, hey, I'm good. And that sort of accountability because I wanted to impress him. I wanted to be good, and I didn't want to be seen as bad. So I had his standard, and when I look back at it now, he didn't really hold like a standard to me. He more like he basically let me set the standard, but in some sort of way because it was the first time and he was my mentor, and I looked at him as better than me. I wanted to impress him, and that made me work harder. So the accountability through writing a daily report to someone and having somebody keeping you accountable helped me develop like a certain discipline. It made sense. It made sense, and it made me realize so many other different things. Like he didn't give me the daily report so he could track on what I was doing. It was more for myself because when I started to like the first one I wrote was pretty damn long, and I used sorry about that, and I used a lot of time on writing that one. I used a lot of time on writing that one. So when I sent it in to him, I thought he was going to be like, "Oh, this is cool," and he was like, "No, this is way too long. You're gonna do this for a long time, and if you're writing this long of a daily report, you're gonna use a lot of your time on writing a daily report. You have to write it so that you benefit the most of it, and so do you you also use the least amount of time in it. So I learned that later on, and I was like, okay, cool. I could throw back a daily report like this because I made a template. I made a Word document with a template and all of that stuff, and it was really easy to just like, hey, copy paste some of the things because some of the things were the same. So I would copy paste the things that were the same and write out the things that weren't the same and sort of edit and correct. And after doing it for like a long time, you become more efficient at writing daily reports because it becomes automatic. Because I would always do it before I go to sleep, and now I actually also like before the daily report, I would do daily goals and stuff like that. But I still actually also do my goals daily. I still it's very rarely that I miss some of the days, and if I do miss some of the days, it's because, for instance, let's say I'm on vacation or I decide to take the day off or something happens, or I've been out with friends and then I come home and I'm like, I'm not feeling like doing the daily report because I evaluate that it would be better to go out and sleep. Go out and sleep. I mean, go to bed, not go out and sleep, but go to bed and sleep, basically. And then wake up and then do a daily goal or then do some daily goals because I realized that a lot of times, like, when you do this, when you do it a lot, it almost becomes automatic. Like I almost like, for instance, for myself, know that hey, I want to plan out tomorrow, but I can almost do it in my head. I can almost do it. Okay, so from 8 to 4, I'm gonna be doing this. From 5, I'm going to be working out. Then I'm probably Then I'm gonna do some stretching while I'm working out. I'm gonna use this, and then I'm gonna schedule the yoga session for the next 2 or 3 weeks. No, actually, the next 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna do this business afterwards. And there's so many things. There's so many things, but I can almost like schedule it. And then, at this time, I'm gonna wind down. Boom. And then that's my day for tomorrow. So for myself, it's like, hey, you become so proficient at it because you've done it so many times. But it's really brought value to me at start. It's a really good tool when you don't have crazy much discipline to start implementing that. And once you get the discipline, you can sort of like remove the daily report thing and actually like stop using it and only use the goal setting part because that's what brought value to me. Because obviously you're writing like a daily report to yourself and to your mentor, but it's mostly for you. It's mostly to benefit you, and that's sort of it gets you the discipline. So I basically have stopped writing daily reports, and now I'm just doing goals in my Trello. And Trello is like this app and web service where you can write down your goals and do cards and boards and stuff like that. It's sort of like Jira if you're familiar with it. And if you're a business person, you're probably familiar with Jira as well. But similar to that. So that little experience with my mentor, obviously he taught me other things, but I wanted to share that experience with you because that brought me some value and that brought me more like discipline and also evaluating sometimes how you do. I sort of kept that. I realize for me right now, I'm not doing it on a daily basis because on a daily basis, it's kind of too much. It's kind of too much, at least for my taste. But I'm doing it on a weekly basis. I'm doing it on a weekly basis, and then I'm reviewing my weekly goals and I'm reviewing my monthly goals. It's very rarely do I feel like I want to review my current day because sometimes I can be like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't do this good here and I didn't do this good there. But generally, it's better for me to review on a week instead of a daily review. And you sort of mix and match and you find out what works for you. Well, that's my experience with Daily Report and my first mentor. Obviously, there's a lot more that he taught me, but I just wanted to share this experience with you. Hope that helps you out. And if you like this episode, hit the like button below. If you want to follow more of my podcast videos for the Journey Podcast, hit the subscribe button and take care, you guys. Peace.